Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast covers everything tech. The hottest mobile phones, tablets, games. We review it, rate it, test it. Whether you're Microsoft or Apple, Android or iPhone, we'll give it to you
again and again.
Black and white. The Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Technology Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquish, and I'm so excited you decided to join me today. Today we are going to be talking about what's new in the world of technology, as well we are going to discuss what kind of laptops you should consider buying, whether you are looking for something to game with, work with. Maybe you're a student, maybe you're buying for a student, or you're just looking for something to putter around the house with. We are going to discuss the do's and don'ts when it comes to buying a new laptop. So enough of me introducing today's podcast. Let's start talking about what is new in the technology world. To start today off, I want to talk about a story that shocked me when I read it because I honestly could not believe it is happening. Apple, Amazon, and Google have all joined forces to make all of your smart home devices more compatible with each other. This is incredible for a lot of reasons. Number one being Apple, Amazon, and Google are the biggest players in the technology world by far. If you're buying something to do with technology like a laptop or an iPhone, you're going to be buying one of their products. So it was a shock to find out that they would be partnering together. However, I think it's one of those things where, maybe you don't like your neighbors and maybe your neighbors don't like you, but you're going to join forces together to build a fence. So I think Apple, Amazon, and Google have seen that there's a problem in the technology neighborhood and they've decided to build a fence to try to get over the hump together. If you are using a smart home device, you understand why this partnership is so important. I'm one of those people, like many people, that is not strictly committed to one brand only. I have a Samsung phone. I use Amazon Prime. I have a Mac laptop. So things are very different for absolutely everyone with which brand you're using. But if you want a Google Assistant, an Amazon Echo, or Siri, you're going to want a way to connect all of your products together to actually get the full use out of a home device. Home devices have become so interesting because, and I'm sure I'm going to tell this story and so many people are going to be able to relate, the people who need home devices the most are the people who don't want to use them. I'll give a short example here. I absolutely love my father and I think he's a really great man and a very smart man. However, he is terrified of using any of the smart home devices, or he's not even terrified, he's just more skeptical if they work. And I think it's so funny because he'll be like, well, Mac, if they work so well, turn on my TV with your phone. And I'm like, Dad, do you own an Amazon Echo? Well, no, I don't. Then I can't just turn on the TV with your phone. And also, even if you had one, I wouldn't be able to turn it on with my phone. What you can do is go, hey Siri, I am chopping up onions right now, and I really want to see how Rachel Ray is chopping her onions, so Siri, turn on Rachel Ray. So if you're one of those people that are absolutely pro home devices, then this partnership is definitely for you. If you're someone who is against home devices, perhaps because of the price, or because you're like my dad and you're just skeptical if it'll work, then this partnership will also be beneficial to you because they're going to make it a lot easier to use and you're going to be a lot happier with the product. So I want to ask you guys, because I always want to hear your thoughts on this. Are you pro or against home devices? Is this something that you want to use, or is it something you are never going to be a part of? Let us know in the review down below or reach out through social media. The next news story I want to talk about is Apple again. Obviously, this segment is always going to be filled with a lot of different Apple news stories. Apple is by far one of the biggest, players in the technology world, so it is never a shock when I see a news story come out about them, good or bad. So in this latest story, Apple has killed an app that would allow you to turn your iPhone into an iPod Classic. So for those of you that were born before 1997, you'll remember the old classic iPod and how instead of a touch screen, we had a little turn wheel. You know, with the play button on the bottom and a menu option on the top, and you had to like manually scroll through to get to every option, and it was so annoying. So my opinion on this, we'll get into the full story, but my opinion on this is, why would you ever want to download an app that made technology harder? Like, if you're trying to, make your day easier, why are you downloading an app that makes your day more frustrating? If you want to listen to music faster, you're not going to want to go through a whole turntable. You want to just click and play. So I, for one, was not for this app to begin with. I felt like a little unneeded, and it was sort of just pulling on nostalgia heartstrings instead of really benefiting the consumer in any way. The app was called Rewound, and it basically made your phone into the old iPod or MP3 player. And Apple's problem with it was that it mimicked too much of their old style, and they had not agreed to anyone using that style yet or using it again, and they thought it would cause confusion for the consumers more than anything. You also needed a special little extension to actually make the app work, and you needed to download images, so it was just really complicated and unneeded. However, the app is not giving up, and you can actually donate to their GoFundMe page so that they can get working on a new version and make it an option for everyone to download, with or without Apple's support. So what do you think about Apple's decision to kill this app? Do you think they maybe should have let it keep going, even if it wasn't their cup of tea, like it's not my cup of tea? Were they wrong to kill the app? Again, let me know through the reviews or connect through social media. The last story I want to talk about today is that Disney Plus is now available on Samsung Smart TVs. This is really great for everyone who owns a Samsung Smart TV and has been really wanting to get in on that Baby Yoda fandom that everyone's been talking about. Although you might not have a Samsung TV, you could have been watching Disney Plus on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, Google Chromecast, iOS, LG TVs, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, and also just on the internet. You can download it. Just to be clear though, Samsung is saying that the video streaming service is available on select 2016 to 2019 smart TV models. I thought this was very interesting, only because I feel like Disney Plus and streaming services have been taking over the entertainment world, and as well, the technology world has had to, change to fit with them. So, Disney is always being a little, keeping things from the general public, in the way that, only something so magical can. They gotta preserve that Disney magic. But what we know so far is that 22 million people did download the app, and that their fiscal year will be coming to an end on December 31st, so we should be getting a new update to how many people are actually using Disney Plus. Which is a plus for us, because I would love to know, was this all hype? Or are people actually enjoying the content that is on there? I know from experience that I downloaded Disney Plus and then I watched 2 episodes of an old TV show and immediately was like, I'm good. I'm actually going to go watch a Netflix original or The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So I would love to hear from you. Did you buy into the hype of Disney Plus? Do you buy into any of the hype with these streaming services? Or are you a classic cable TV person? Again, let me know through the reviews or connect through social media. We're going to go ahead and take our first break of the podcast, but stay tuned because you are listening to the GSMC Technology Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. And when you come back, we're going to be talking about what you need to know when buying a new laptop.
Do you work in the world of marketing and advertising? Are you a media buyer or the owner of an agency? Have you been looking for a podcast to help stay on top of all the goings on of those worlds? The GSMC Marketing News Podcast is dedicated to keeping you up to date on all things concerning marketing and advertising. Get the latest marketing news, from what major businesses have planned for the coming year to the newest trends in advertising, from podcasts, digital and streaming, to the old standbys of radio, television, and billboards. The GSMC Marketing News Podcast has you covered, whether you're a marketing agent or a business trying to expand your brand.
Hello and welcome back to the GSMC Technology Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jakewish, and before the break, I teased that we would be discussing what you should be considering when buying a new laptop. And for the rest of the podcast, I really want to talk about the different types of laptops and the different types of reasons you might be buying them. So to start off with, we are going to be talking about gaming laptops. The reason I want to start with gaming laptops is because it is by far the most specific kind of laptop. You really can't just go pick up a simple laptop and expect it to have everything you need for all of the games that you play. So this laptop recommendation is really pointed towards people who are either shopping for or actually are hardcore gamers. Before we can discuss which brands you should buy for the gamer in your life, I want to talk about what you should be looking for in each of these laptops for a gaming computer. So one of the most important things would be screen size and resolution. The GPU when it comes to visuals and frame rate. So this is because, a lot of games require a lot of movement, obviously, and they need to be able to see everything and experience everything all at once. I'm not much into gaming. However, I do understand that, my comparison is always I really enjoy watching long TV shows, long TV series. And so when I think about the type of TV I would want, the most important thing would definitely be that the color and the resolution and the frame rate are all really fast and really high quality so that it doesn't interrupt or distort anything with my show or with the game. The next thing you need to consider is the CPU and RAM to determine how quickly your computer will perform and how many tasks it can handle at once. So if you're looking for a specific number, you should look for a laptop with at least 8 gigs of RAM for modern games. If you're interested in high-end gaming and you really want to push your laptop as far as it can go, then you're looking for about 16 gigs of RAM. Something you need to know before buying a gaming laptop for someone or for yourself is that it is going to be an investment, but they do last a very long time if you buy a good and strong laptop. So get ready to spend somewhere between $2,000 and $5,000 on a gaming laptop. However, I know this seems like a lot of money. It will keep you gaming and pushing those limits with your games for a very long time, so it is definitely worth the investment. Now, the 5 best brands recommended from bestreviews.com for your gaming laptop. The best one is the Razer Blade 15 gaming laptop, followed by the ROG Strix Hero Edition gaming laptop, or the Lenovo IdeaPad L340 gaming laptop. Each of those will cost you around $2,000 to $5,000. However, they have the gigs of RAM we talked about and really great color resolution. The next laptop we are going to talk about is just as important as the gaming laptop when it comes to specific things you want to look for, because it is the classic work laptop. If you know an entrepreneur in your life or someone who is starting their own business, then they are definitely going to need a really great work computer that will do all the things they need to do and, isn't crazy expensive because they are probably on a budget. So when shopping for a work computer, you're really looking for your best bang for your buck. So some things to consider when shopping for your first work laptop. The most important thing, I think, would definitely be how much storage does this laptop have. You're going to be opening a lot of files. You're going to be saving a lot of things to your desktop. You're probably going to be working on 2 or 3 projects at once. So you're really going to want a laptop that has a lot of storage so that you're not constantly having to delete things. Along with having a lot of storage, you're also going to want to think about storage in your bag and in your home. A good work laptop should be small enough that, it can fit into a backpack or a laptop bag easily. You definitely don't want to be hauling around a giant computer to business meetings or just even throughout your house. So portable and accessibility would definitely be the second thing you need to look for. Something else you want to consider when looking for your work laptop is what features does it have for you. You definitely want a USB-C port. Those are where your little thumb drives can stick into. I know a lot of people still like to use those instead of email just to transfer really big files in between people. So you definitely want something that you're able to utilize other people's USBs for so that you're not, blocked because you don't have a laptop that doesn't have the right equipment. Depending on what your type of work is, you're going to be looking for a laptop that has maybe some fun and unique features, like one that turns into an iPad so that you can click around on stuff, or I've seen a lot of laptops now that you can fold back and draw on, like, draw images or start a presentation that way. So depending on your business, you may want to consider upgrading your laptop to something that has a little more pizzazz. Something else you're going to want to consider when buying your laptop is the battery life. If you're working a lot and you're moving around a lot, you don't want to have to take a charger with you. So definitely look for something that can go 15 hours to 10 hours without needing a charge. And the last thing you're going to want to look at before buying a work laptop is definitely the price. You don't want to overspend on one of these because it's not a gaming laptop where you get one and then you're good for a long time. A work laptop you may want to upgrade over the years as your business grows. So now let's talk about which laptops are going to give you that best bang for your buck. You're definitely going to want to look at the lower expensive brands like Dell or Lenovo. You absolutely can go to an Apple store and get a Mac computer. Just be aware that it is going to be a bit of an investment. Definitely stay away from the MacBook Air as it has absolutely no storage and no USB ports, so it will not be useful to you as a business owner. The first one I want to talk about is the Dell XPS 15. It has 512 gigs of storage, and the features include 4 USB ports, and it's very small, very stylish, and you can take it with you anywhere. This laptop will cost you about $1,500 from Walmart. The second laptop I want to recommend is the Lenovo ThinkPad. It has a storage of 256 gigabytes and a memory of 8 gigabytes. The features include 2 USB ports, but the battery life can stand about 15 hours, so this is a really, really great laptop if you're looking to pack up and go. The Lenovo ThinkPad will cost you around $1,300 from Amazon. So the next laptop I want to talk about and the final laptop I'll recommend is the Lenovo YogaBook. It's actually a hybrid, so it switches between being a laptop and an iPad. It looks like there's also a really cool option for you to get to draw with some sort of pen on this laptop. So if your career involves some sort of graphic design or something that you need to be a little more creative, I definitely recommend this laptop. It has a storage of 64 gigabytes, memory is 4 gigabytes, but the features do include, again, the double screens, and it's very inexpensive. It is only $500 from Amazon. We're going to go ahead and take another short break on the podcast, but when we come back, we are going to be discussing what is the best laptops for students and what is the best first laptop you can buy as just a sort of general hobbyist laptop. So stay tuned because you are listening to the GSMC Technology Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jakewish, and we will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Technology Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jaquish, and thanks for hanging out with us today. Before the break, we talked about which laptops are best to buy if you're into gaming or if you're looking to start a new career and you are looking for a work laptop. We talked about looking for things with a specific RAM if you're a gamer versus looking for something with a lot of storage if you're looking to produce content and start a business with your laptop. Now that we're back from our break, we are going to be talking about the best laptop to buy students or the best laptop to buy if you're a first-time laptop, if you're looking for a first laptop to buy ever. Definitely something to consider when buying a laptop for your student, or if you're a student looking to buy your first laptop for university. Definitely try to hit up some back-to-school sales and always tell your salesperson you are a student and just have some form of identification with you, because you're going to get in on some of those really great sales, and they might even, go into a little more detail with what your course load is specifically and what might help you go further in school. A really great example is I went to school to become a journalist, and we all needed very specific laptops that had a lot of storage and we could all run Premiere Pro on, which is a video editing program. So depending on your course and depending on your major, you may need a specific laptop. So definitely never be afraid to tell a salesperson that you are buying a laptop for school. However, since I don't want you walking into Best Buy, looking like a chump and not knowing what you're looking for, I have a few things to look out for when shopping for your first student laptop. Very similar to the work laptop, the most important thing for you as a student will be that the laptop has a lot of storage. You're going to be jumping between classes, and you're going to have multiple projects and tests and stress and trying to exercise and drink your water. Everything's going to be happening at once. So the thing you don't need to worry about is having enough storage on your laptop. You're going to want to know that you can screenshot a photo of your ex from Facebook while also finishing your history essay. So definitely look for a laptop that has at least over 100 gigabytes of storage. And if you can even go into the terabyte realm, definitely do so. The second, and honestly, is probably also just as important as storage, I don't want to say it's less important, is that you definitely want a laptop that is lightweight. This might seem really silly because I understand that a lot of laptops that are lightweight aren't going to have a lot of storage, but also everything's done on Google Drive now. So if you have a really bad back, or you know that you're having to walk really far with your laptop, or your school has stairs and no elevators, definitely go for something a little more lightweight that can fit into your backpack and won't totally destroy your back. Again, just because I was in journalism, I had to have a very big and chunky laptop, and I also had to carry around camera equipment and lights and microphones and all that. And, at the time I was very young and could all do that, but I definitely remember a lot of nights coming home and complaining about my back as if I had just been out on the farm all day, raking stuff. I don't know what they do at farms, but you get what I'm saying, that, if you have a lot of stuff to do with your laptop in a movement way, like you're moving around a lot, definitely look for something that is lightweight and manageable. All right, so now let's talk about which laptops you should actually be buying, because, we know you want a lot of memory, we know you want a lot of storage, and we know you want it to be fast. Above all else, all of these laptops, make sure that it's really fast. The gaming laptop definitely has to be the fastest, but you don't want a slow computer for your schooling either. So now the first one I want to recommend is the Dell XPS 13. It is the 8th generation Intel, has a Core i5 and i7, a graphics card, which is really, really great if you're doing some sort of video editing or presentation. The RAM is 4 gigabytes and 16, so this laptop is super fast, and it has a storage of 128 gigabytes. This laptop will run you around $2,000 depending on where you buy it. However, although it is a student laptop, and I suspect a lot of students, aren't looking for a very expensive laptop, this laptop will last you a very long time and can go with you into your next phase of life after school. The second laptop I want to recommend to university students, and also if you're in middle school or high school and they're asking you to buy a laptop, this is more of a recommendation for parents out there. Definitely look into an Acer Chromebook. Chromebooks are like a baby laptop. Like, basically the only thing you can do on them is Google Drive, but everything's on Google Drive nowadays. You don't need to save things to a desktop or have Word documents because you got Google Docs. So the Acer Chromebook is super, super lightweight and super fast, so you can get all of your work done and not totally break your back. Not to mention, it is also very, very cost effective. This laptop will cost you around $400. It should not be more than $400. The next laptop I want to recommend is the HP Envy X360. This laptop is a laptop / iPad. It's one of those really fun hybrid ones where you just push the back and it turns into an iPad, which is a super cool feature, especially if you're in a class like a math class or a science class where there's a lot of equations on the board that you can't really type. It's really great to turn it into an iPad and then draw out the math that you need. This laptop has about 8 gigabytes of RAM. The screen is 13 inches and it has a storage of 128 gigabytes. This laptop is about $1,000. Again, it's a little more expensive, but you do get the added bonus of it also being an iPad. So this is by far the most expensive laptop I will recommend on the list today. However, I do think it is one to keep in your back pocket because it will last you through school and after school, and it is the MacBook Pro 15-inch. It came out in 2018. It is the best student laptop for Apple fans shopping at the premier end of the market. So this laptop, has amazing graphics, is very fast. It has 16 gigs of RAM. The screen is nice. The resolution is fantastic. The storage is 512 gigabytes to 4 terabytes. So you're going to be able to save everything imaginable over the next 4 years onto this laptop, and you probably never have to delete it. Unless you are doing something you want to delete, and that's up to you. This laptop is around $3,000, if not more. But like I'm saying, it is going to last you a very, very long time. It is an investment in yourself and your education, and I highly recommend it if you are able to buy this laptop. The last laptop I want to talk about on this podcast is the laptop that you want to have if you're just a hobbyist who, you want a laptop because you kind of want to take your computer around the house with you, but you won't be doing any serious gaming, schooling, or work on the laptop. You're just looking to stay connected and stay relevant. In that case, the most important thing for you will always be storage. Storage across the board is always pretty important. But you're going to want storage, not a ton, not anything near the student or the worker, but you still want storage. You still want it to be fast, not as fast as a gaming laptop, but again, still pretty fast because a slow laptop is very frustrating. But I would say the most important thing for you would actually be getting the most bang for your buck. A lot of these laptops I've talked about have been in the $2,000 range to like the $5,000 range. What I'm going to talk about and what I'm going to recommend are all laptops that are under $1,000 because I understand that this is not something you're taking around with you a lot and it's not something you're really investing in. Because this is just a hobbyist laptop, you can, experiment a little bit with those hybrid laptops that turn into the iPad. However, if you know for a fact that you have no interest in playing iPad games or using an iPad for any stylish reasons, then I would steer clear of those because it might seem like a good idea in the store. it's not going to be a good idea a year from now when you have to go get your laptop fixed because the screen is cracking because you switched it around so much and you didn't even really use it. So definitely steer clear of those because they're not useful for you. Depending on what you're using it for in your hobbies, if you're wanting to edit photos or just collect photos from your family, then you probably don't want a Chromebook because there's not a lot of room to save stuff. Same with a MacBook Air. There's just not enough storage to really be saving files. The first laptop I'm going to recommend to you hobbyist is the Acer Aspire 5 laptop. It is around $600, so definitely near the end range of our budget that I set for us, but it does have a lot of storage, 256 gigabytes to be specific, and it has 8 gigabytes of RAM, so it is very fast and has a lot of storage, so you're definitely able to use it for a lot of different reasons, especially if you're sharing this laptop with your entire family. One downside with this laptop is it's not very pretty. I know that's not a big deal to everyone, but also I know it is to some people. You don't want an ugly laptop lying around your house, and I do have to admit, this one is not very stylish, but it does get the job done, and it is only $600, so definitely consider the Acer Aspire 5 laptop. The next laptop I am going to recommend is the Lenovo 15.6 laptop. It has 4 gigabytes of RAM, so not super fast, but definitely not extremely slow, especially considering it has 500 gigabytes of hard drive capacity and helps you store all of your digital data that you may need. So it's definitely a really great laptop for storage purposes. It may be a little bit slow compared to some of the other laptops we discussed on this podcast. This laptop is only $300, and you can save $100 if you order it after Christmas around Boxing Day. So definitely keep your eye out for that laptop if you're looking for something with a lot of storage and you're okay with it being a little more slow. So the final laptop I'm going to recommend to all of you hobbyists is the Dell Inspiron 11 3000. It has a storage of 32 gigabytes and a RAM of 4 gigabytes. So again, a little bit slow, not a ton of storage, but it is only $179. So I definitely think it is worth it for its price because it definitely will allow you to check your emails, play games, connect through Facebook or any other social media platform you have. And it's super lightweight to carry around and can be just a fun laptop if you're not looking to do anything serious with it. All right, everyone, that is it for the GSMC Technology Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I encourage you to please write a review down below discussing what we talked about today. I absolutely love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts on the topics, which is why you should also connect with us through social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Mackenzie Jaquish, and I will see you next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Technology Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.